if you sit there and look at it tonight, very interesting. If you do chart reading like I teach it, then tonight the market came down and tested Friday's low, which was on the S&P 62.39, and we went down tonight very early to 62.51. So if the market, gets some strength throughout Asia and Europe and all that, then very, very interesting how day two. And what Chuck alluded to, and administratively, I want to tell everybody, we'll get started tomorrow at 11 o'clock Eastern time for our train and trade. We're doing that every day. Every day at 11, we're going to be live there to try to help people, navigate through the week and all that. And so I think that's something to look forward to as we get into the cash market and things start moving. Now, keep in mind, stocks start trading tonight at 8. Stocks start trading tonight at 8. And AMD's got earnings this week, but AMD's at 173. I've got NVIDIA's at 173.93 kicking off tonight. And that's sort of interesting if you look at it. I think that when you have Palantir's got a bid, you mentioned Palantir. So I think, you've got to take what we teach, use it, apply it, and keep the bias in the rearview mirror and basically just try the best you can to trade what you see. But I don't think there's any reason to panic or anything like that. I just think that there's an opportunity being created with the breather it was taken on Friday. Sometimes it'll last anywhere from, you write this down, 1.5% to 5% from that top. And we'll see if that plays out that way. We've got another 2 days, a lot of time, a lot of trading to go on. We'll have a conclusion once we finish that 3 days. But administratively, we're going to do it tonight a little bit different. We're going to have part one, where we talk about the markets and details. In part two, we're going to talk about how we've taken technology, and we call it the sunrise signal. We'll get into that. I've invited Stephen on to be able to, we'll go through some slides about it, but it's a hot way to get started on your week. We'll start that tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So we got everything going. We got a great little run going as far as our trading goes, and everybody's done pretty well. But if you look at, let me just say real quick, Adam got a big number of people here, so I'm gonna get going here. I think that's a record crowd for a long time tonight. Good job. Everybody give Adam a hand. Chuck, did you ask where everybody was signing in from? Did you get that far? I don't know. I didn't listen if you did.
Yeah, we did that. However, I think there may be about 100 or so more people in here than when we did it. So
why don't we do it again, folks? Just type in. That way, if I see where you're coming in from, that sort of tells me how broad. Hawaii's here. I like Hawaii, Louisville, Sacramento, Arlington, Virginia. Hey, Junior. Junior's my buddy. He was at Sawgrass. Jeremy, glad you're here. Michael, and we got some new people tonight. This is great. But anyway, I will get into this, and then we'll get into the sunrise, because I think that's going to be very, very exciting for people to know that we've been able to computerize what we've been doing all these years by hand. Pretty cool. So, Chuck, you'll be with me tomorrow during the Think and Trade at 11. Did you see the big numbers we had for day one? So we can top it tomorrow,
Absolutely looking forward to that. I think Neil said a little bit earlier, this is a trader's market. No better time to be looking at train and trade than a market like the one we've got right now.
Yeah, Neil's in for a small class. I got a small class going this week too, Chuck, Monday and Tuesday. Okay, and anyway, let's get it going. I'm pretty excited to kick this week off. Y'all ready to kick the week off? We're gonna make some money together. I'm ready to do it. All right, I'm Tom Busby, and welcome to DTI's Sunday night planning session. Thank you for coming. Make sure you're part of our T-Buzz TV. It's a free service that we do. And just all you got to do, anything you want to find out, you go into our YouTube channel. Got a lot of good training there. One of the favorite topics is how to turn lemons into lemonade in there. There's a course on that, but a lot of good things that we do, a lot of different topics. And I do want to say that I think we've got a little change going on in the gold market. Keep your eye on it. You know, it went to 35.09. I think there's enough strength we get above the midway point from 3,400 to 3,500. I think you can see maybe new highs in gold in August. We'll see. All right, folks, there's risk involved in trading. I never want to minimize the risk. This is a hard game we play. You got to have procedure, you got to have process, and you got to keep those emotions on the sidelines. I do everything by numbers, so you hear me talk a lot about numbers, pivot numbers, white papers, a lot of things that we've done to make your life easier. Former Air Force officer. I learned to think strategically and tactically in the Air Force. I'm an active trader since the 70s. A former member of the CME, the futures market, been a futures trader my whole career, author of 3 books, Winning the Day Trading Game, The Markets Never Sleep, and Trade to Win. I work with students a long time. That's why I'm here for you. I'm here for you because I want to show you the mistakes I made learning what I know today. This week's schedule, let's just look at it. Got a small class in Ponte Vedra. We'll get started tomorrow about 9 o'clock for those that are attending the class. 11 a.m. we got train and trade. Then tomorrow night, I can do futures education. It's pretty popular. 7 p.m. Who's in that futures class in the evening? Go on and type in, I'm in the futures class. A lot of people come to learn futures from me, and I like that. Tuesday, small class continues, day 2. Academy at 10, 10:45. I have my connected dots. It's my longest, I guess, lasting program I've had over 6-7 years. Called T-Buzz All Stars. That's at 10:45, where I have a trade per week. Notice it's on Tuesday. 11 o'clock, we kick off with Train and Trade on Tuesday. Wednesday, we have the Academy. 11 o'clock, we got Train and Trade. We got earnings trade session on Wednesday at 2. And we got an 8 p.m. Wednesday on the web. Thursday, I've got a 10:30 Academy meeting, Train and Trade at 11, and 2:30 a special broadcast. Don't miss that. Friday, Academy, 11 a.m., Train and Trade, 3 p.m. We tried to consolidate everything where people could see me live. People tend to like to be with me when I'm live during a day or trading and all, and I think that's good. Train and Trade's totally free. All you got to do is show up. If you're interested, just say, sign me up, and they'll put your name down and make sure you get an invitation if you want to be in Train and Trade. All right, folks, that's our schedule. Take a picture of it. I'll be there. Hope you're there. Train and Trade schedule this week, Monday and Tuesday. We focus on why Monday's high and Monday's low, okay? Monday's low, high, and Monday's low will lead to a weekly trend. I'll teach you tomorrow at 11 o'clock the significance of how to forecast a week. Wouldn't you rather have the news on Monday rather than wait till everybody else gets it on Friday? Well, I'm going to show you what I look for and how it works, okay? Hello, Allison. Good to see you. Tuesday, we have all bets off numbers, trigger numbers, and targets. It's trade day. I wanted to focus on that, how to calculate where you're wrong, when you're right, and how to let things run. Wednesday, we have options talk on Wednesday. I show you my way I play options, both from the long side, simple calls and puts, to iron condors, other things that I teach, and how you can simplify the world of options. Thursday, we break down the 25 tickers, setting up directional plays for the month. That's a big session right there on Thursday. Be there for that education. This is for swing traders and monthly traders. Friday, we have reference bars. This is my way of analyzing. Like tonight, if you read things in the press, you might be short. Well, if you read things for DTI, you'd be long right now in this current market. That's the difference. These reference bars set the tone around the clock. Training every day at 11. Get signed up. There's the link if you want to sign up for Train and Trade. Adam will make sure you've got it. Okay? That's the way it works. The opening for futures is out there. Let me give it to you. E-mini 6257. Write that number down. NASDAQ 22,850. Dow 43675. Crude oil 66.85. Gold 34.16. These are opening prices tonight for the week. Silver 37.09. Bonds 115.19 for bonds. That's lower interest rates if you get higher than that. And of course, Bitcoin, which has had quite a correction, about 10,000, is 114,365, up about $800 tonight on Bitcoin. Those are the numbers that start out the week. Did y'all get those numbers? Let me read it to you again, make sure you got it. E-mini 6257, NASDAQ 22,850. That's how you play the QQQ with that one. Dow 43,675. That's how you play the diamond. That's the Dow. Crude oil 66.85. Gold 34.16. Silver 37.09. Bonds 115.19, and Bitcoin 114,365. Those are the pivot numbers for the week. Write them down. I'll be using them throughout the week, those pivot numbers. Any questions about what I just gave you? Perfect. And they'll type it in there if they get a chance. Okay? In my opinion, market's in a bull market, but a bull market doesn't go straight up. Sometimes it corrects or breathes, as I say. We're in the breathing stage of that market, okay? We're in the breathing stage of this market, okay? Now, here's my 10 tickers for the week. What I try to do on Sunday night, you came here, I like to give you something to take home with you. This is a very powerful breakdown of stocks. I think that I give you numbers for direction for the week. And so here's how it works. Everybody see Amazon less than 225? Everybody see that one? That when I put that up there, I'm looking for Amazon to go lower when it's below 225. That's the way these numbers work. Coinbase below 345. If it's below it, I'm looking for it to go lower. Gold above 312.55 to go higher. Silver above 36.11 to go higher. Joby Aviation above 18.55 to go higher. NVIDIA above 178.11 to go higher. SPY above 625.11 to go higher. Below 618.40 to go lower. The QQQ above 557.55 to go higher, below 549.40 to go lower. Does everybody get what I've done tonight with the pivot numbers for these stocks and how to play them for the week? Right, Amazon's at 215. I'm bearish on Amazon when it's at 215, William. That's how you read that. The 225 is the pivot number, and that's the way it is. That's supposed to be the SPY. That's a typo. SPY, Amy.
Sorry, I'm going to fix that right now, T-Bus.
That's the SPY. Hey, Ad, they would like you to type this in there for the pivot numbers for the week. Let me give it to you real quick, if you got a second. E-mini 6257.
All right,
Let him fix it. Yeah, let him fix that, then we'll do it, okay? E-mini 6257, that's my pivot number for the week. NASDAQ 228.50 is the NASDAQ.
Hold on, T-Buzz. I was just closing out another window.
Okay, let me know when you're ready.
What do you have?
Okay, the E-mini pivot number for the week, 6257. When I say it tight, there it is, okay. NASDAQ, 228.50 is the NASDAQ.
228.50.
We're at 229.40, so the NASDAQ's going up tonight. That's what it tells you. Dow, 43,675. 43,675. Crude oil, 66.85. Gold, 34.16.
34.16.
Yep, 34.16. Currently 34.08. Needs to get a little bit more strength to turn bullish. Silver, 37.09. It's currently trading 36.95. So it's a little bit shy of the pivot number. Okay. Bonds, 115.19. They're right there at 115.19 right now. Now Bitcoin, 114,365.
114,365.
Yep, that's it. Folks, those are the pivot numbers for the week for those different markets there. Okay? Everybody got that? You get it on Sunday night. You don't have to wait till the end of the week to figure out the market's up or down. I just gave you the pivot numbers. Okay? The 10 plays will put money in your pocket if you set your computer for alerts. If they get like FAMS, I got above 225, I would expect it to go higher. That's the way you'd play it. Okay? But you expect it to go lower as long as it's below 225. That's simple. It works, folks. It works. All right, probabilities for the week got 47%, followed by 55, 50, 49, 49. Not a real strong week. Traditionally, typically the first 10 days of August are a little bit to the weak side, and that's it. John would like you to post how to get the slides. Adam, can you do that? The slides? That link for the slides?
Yep, 1 second.
I always like to make John and Betsy happy when they ask for things. They don't ask for much, but they're great students, and I always like to make them happy. Key economic news and earnings this week. Well, what do we have? We got factory orders, okay, on Monday, August the 4th, durable goods. Earnings highlights, there it is. After the market closed, we got Palantir. That's the one I would focus on, okay? After the market closed means it'd be after 4 o'clock when they post earnings on Palantir. That will probably set a pretty good tone for the second trade day, okay? August 5th, U.S. trade balance, 8:30 in the morning. You got non-manufacturing at 10. Okay, earnings highlights. You got Amgen, Ball. There it is. Here's one I'm interested in. I own this stock. After the market closes, Advanced Micro Devices, Arista, Swap, and Rivian come out after the close on Tuesday, trade day. Wednesday, we have no major U.S. economic releases scheduled. Earnings highlights after the close. Look at here, I'd look at Lilly, Merck, Pinterest, Take-Two Interactive, Trade Days, and Twilio. Nothing big that, rocks your boat, but we got several after the market close on Wednesday, okay? Thursday, what do we have? Productivity at 8:30. We have this Easter time. We have wholesale inventories. Got some consumer credit at 3. That's going to be an interesting thing to look at too at June. Earnings highlight, no major U.S. earnings expected on Thursday. Friday, what do we have? No major U.S. economic data scheduled. Limited earnings releases, nothing. Mostly minor companies on Friday. Looks like the trend's going to establish itself. I expect after day 2 of the week, which will be Tuesday, which will be the 3rd day of the month. Okay? That's it. 5 things to watch this week. First, we got factory orders and durable goods on Monday at 10. Keep an eye on industrials and transports and aerospace and defense. That's the focus on Monday. Tuesday, we got a pivotal week for earnings in AI, biotech, and semiconductors. After the close, you got Palantir, you got AMD. After the close, that's where my focus will be, those two. Look for strong guidance from AMD. It could reignite the entire semiconductor space. You know, if they come out, you'll see NVIDIA take off. Sometimes I play what I call co-conspirators in the space by looking at earnings, okay? Pretty good stuff, huh? U.S. trade balance Tuesday at 8:30. Pair that with bond prices. That's the day you got to look at bonds. Wednesday. ISM services and key sectors to track. Financials, XLF, retail, XRT, and real estate, XLRE. I would watch that XLRE for a pop. We'll see. All right, watch list candidates: NVIDIA, Avco, CRM, XLK, and XLI. High noon and the 2% scans for roadmap can help pinpoint stocks gaining strength over the week. That's scans we got inside our roadmap software that does it for you, spits it out and says there. All right, we're going to transition. Any questions about part 1? We're going to transition to our new Let's Talk Sunrise. Any questions about 1? We got everybody covered? There's Stephen right there. He's going to help me go through these slides. We got a lot of them, but the reason we do, it's important you know about this signal and the technology it brings to the table. Let's go.
Tom, how you doing tonight?
I'm outstanding.
Excellent,
How
excellent.
about you, Stephen? You doing good? It seems like the crowd is roaring. They got a sponge for knowledge. Just give them some.
Absolutely, I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here with you. You want to keep running the slides, or should I take them over?
Why don't you take it over, because I think it'd be
Right.
easier for me just to be your co-pilot on this operation.
I can do that. Give me just a second here. Ooh, gotta make it the right size. Slides don't like being nice to me on a Sunday night. There we go. All right. Tom, thank you for having me here. I'm excited to talk about this. I'm really excited to get to share this again with you. So let's dive right into it. As Tom already covered, but we like to reiterate, profits and performance you're going to see are not typical. We make no future earnings claims, and you may lose money. Trades expressed are from back-tested historical data in order to demonstrate the potential of this system, but the average return per trade on that test, winners and losers included, is 11.91% per trade, and every example is based on a $2,000 starting stake unless we say otherwise. The historic success rate is 77.8%. We can't guarantee any future results, and you should see DTI's homepage if you need more information. All we're saying there is that Tom is working to give folks an edge in trading, is doing his best, but of course there's no black box miracle system that prints out winning trade alerts. So you need to know that you're trading at your own risk. And of course, if you feel like you can't afford to lose money on a trade, you shouldn't be trading with real money. All right, Tom, let's get into it.
I want to interrupt you a second and let everybody know, stay to the end, because at the end, I've got a special announcement to make.
Excellent. I'm excited for that. And folks, if you don't know me, I'm Stephen Ground. I'm excited to be here with Tom. I love working with him. And a question for you tonight: what if there was a way to target $250, $500, or even $1,000 each day, all thanks to a signal that fires before the opening bell even rings? I'm talking about a way to target a couple $100 or more while most folks are still stuck in traffic on the way to their boring day jobs. Now, for some of you tuning in, that might sound far-fetched, but as you'll soon see, according to the trading legend I'm joining today, it's now possible thanks to one of the most powerful and often overlooked signals in the market. In fact, it's one he wrote a whole book about. For example, like what his study shows could have happened back on May 21st, while most folks were dreading the start of the workday at the cubicles, thanks to a little known signal on CoreWeave that took place before the opening bell. Anyone could have clicked a few buttons to jump in right after the markets opened and watched as the stock exploded higher all day long, handing over a $508 payout in just a few hours. Then the next day, same exact thing. While most folks were still swapping stories at the water cooler, trying to pass the time at the day job, anyone who would have caught the sunrise signal on Tesla, which fired before the markets opened, could have placed a quick trade right after the opening bell, and when things worked out, watched a cool $473 hit in their account before the end of the day. And then, just a few days later, same thing. While most folks were stuck in boring meetings, we've all been there, anyone could have seen this one quick signal on NVIDIA, again, firing in the morning before the opening bell, then placed the trade while they were out for a morning walk and cashed in with $491 when it was all said and done. It's all thanks to one incredibly powerful signal that fires each morning at 8 a.m. Eastern. My guest Tom calls it the sunrise signal because just by checking this one signal after the sun rises each morning, you can use it to target $250, $500, or even $1,000 or more before the end of the day. For example, look at what the study showed back on May 5th. Here's the sunrise signal, clear as day, lighting up like fireworks at 8 a.m. And as you'll see in just a moment, that was a surefire sign that stocks would trend higher later in the day. So all anyone had to do was click a few buttons after the opening bell to place a quick trade and then come back later to see a quick 25% return on MU. Now, let's say someone had invested $2,000 in that trade. Again, that's the stake we're going to be talking about with every trade example today, unless we say otherwise. That would have been enough to pay out a handsome $500 on the dot, all by checking one signal before the opening bell. And you don't have to wake up at the crack of dawn, which is good for me because unlike Tom, I'm not an early bird. They don't have to stare at stock charts. They just needed to check one quick signal before the opening bell, wait a few minutes, and then place a trade. And that's it. It really is not a lot more complicated than that. And the beautiful thing is, while we almost always get this opportunity each day, some days we get more than one. Like the very same day, May 5th, the sunrise signal picked up on not one, not two, but actually three high-powered entries for us. The first one, that Micron example I just showed you, paid out $500. The second one on GLD would have paid out $457 that day. And the third one on QQQ, which would have paid folks $404 before dinner. All told, from that one day of following the sunrise signal, just one day, the signal that fires before the markets ever open, anyone could have collected $1,362 with a few clicks of the button. For most folks, that's like adding an extra paycheck with just a few minutes work.
And it adds up because it's consistent every morning.
Absolutely. And it's all before your morning coffee gets cold, or if you're a morning soda drinker, before that gets warm. Now, as great as that is, we've only scratched the surface on what the sunrise signal is truly capable of. Because before the end of this briefing, on top of Tom's big surprise, he's also going to reveal the real opening bell that most traders don't know about. This is huge. It's going to shift your mindset on how you approach your morning, how anyone can spot the sunrise signal before the markets open, the 30-minute no man's land that is killing your profits, the simple double confirmation step to help protect against market reversals, and as Tom hinted out earlier, how his team has made it quicker than ever before to follow along by automating the whole process. We're going to cover a whole lot more. But first, for anyone who is new here, I know we've got a lot of folks who are new tonight, so welcome in. I do want to properly introduce our legendary guest and the mastermind behind these groundbreaking sunrise signals. Tom began his trading career in the 1970s. And in 1992, he was one of only 50 professionals to be handpicked by the CME to receive his very own Globex terminal, which absolutely changed his trading career. He even helped manage a firm so successfully that it was eventually bought out by the $7.9 trillion institution, Morgan Stanley. But Tom's Wall Street legacy pales in comparison to what he's done since he founded DTI back in 1996. Just here, some of the very best stories from some of his top students following with his work, some of whom are in the room right now with us. Jim P. wrote in to tell us a total of $2,060. Great way to start the month. Please pass along my thanks to Tom. And then there's Ken who said, I love its simplicity, a great tool to trade, picked up an extra 3,200 bucks today. And I love Manny's story. He said, just to let you know that I've had my fifth win in trading. Fifth ever win, 135.3% ROI. You're the greatest and the most patient with me. Those are just a few, and we're going to hear more tonight of the best stories from students following along with none other than trading legend Tom Busby. You've seen him on Bloomberg, CNBC, CNN, and he is the author of 3 incredible books, all of which are great. But tonight we're going to be super focused on The Markets Never Sleep. So, Tom, thanks for inviting me on here today. I love doing this with you. Can you tell us more about this sunrise signal and how you discovered it?
Hey, I'd love to, and I'm so glad we got time tonight to talk about it because, like I typed in the chat room, it's computerized. It takes a lot of hard work, and as I mentioned, I built my career on trading the 24-hour markets. The 24-hour markets are the key to everything you'll see. In fact, the details I'll share with you today are so important. I even posted a whole book on it called The Markets Never Sleep. You see, most people assume the trading day starts at 9:30 when the opening bell rings. The networks love to run their shows around it, and they throw a big party every morning for you to see. But if you ever only focused on what happens after the opening bell, you're actually missing the most important signal in the entire market. Because the truth is, Wall Street's day doesn't start at 9:30 like most people assume. This was eye-opening. It starts much earlier at 8 a.m. And as soon as they fire on their computers, setting their first trades of the day, they send a signal that can help us tell us the direction for the rest of the day. And that's it. And by following that signal, which hits every morning at 8, we're able to hop in on some of their biggest bets once the market opens. Then ride it higher all day long. For example, look what happened to NVIDIA back on May the 13th. I've been hot on this stock. On May the 13th, right at 8, Wall Street fired off the sunrise signal. And as I later explained, this meant that NVIDIA had a darn good shot for scoring and soaring higher all day long. Okay? So, Stephen, had you set a basic trade, you would have walked away with a quick $508 on NVIDIA that day.
That is really impressive.
Let's see it again, this time on Micron, back in April. Now, back in April, the headlines were calling for economic doom. Y'all remember these headlines? And as usual, they had it wrong. It didn't matter to us at all. We play the numbers because once again, on April 24th, the sunrise signal fired again at 8 o'clock a.m. So anyone who simply ignored the forecasters, what you should have done, taken a couple minutes and did this to set a quick trade, knowing that MU was likely to head higher all day long. Anyone who did that could have banked about $491 and a few clicks of the button. You're ready to go. Wow. So each day, hundreds of Wall Street's traders, pits, and countless algorithms come online right around 8. Just look at this chart of the average volume in the early morning. As you can see, there's very little activity before 8. But then look what happens. A massive volume spike right at 8 as Wall Street, as they say, wakes up. Then when Wall Street places its bets on where stocks are going to go for the rest of the day, before most people are even paying attention, be honest with yourself. Are you paying attention? Now, of course, you don't have to be active at 8 to reap the rewards from the early birds on Wall Street. You just have to watch for the sunrise signal, then place a trade right after the opening bell to piggyback on the stocks that are most likely going to send higher for the rest of the day. For example, look back at April 24th on Palantir. We've been talking about it. Back in April, we're in the midst of tariff chaos, and the markets had whipsawed like crazy the day before. VIX was still highly elevated, making it very difficult to predict where stocks would move next. Now, unless you knew about the sunrise signal, because that morning while the markets were quiet, jumped like crazy. That's a surefire sign that Wall Street was waking up and starting their trading day. And when it did, the first thing they wanted to do was pile into this stock. That's our sunrise signal telling us that the stock was primed to go higher all day long. And how to take advantage of it. That's exactly what happened. Anyone who jumped in on a sunrise signal on that stock on that day could have made a quick $456 in a few hours. You see, Wall Street loves getting in early on some of their favorite stocks well before the opening bell rings. That's because starting their day by 8, they can trade after they've had a chance to process the overnight news, while the European trade desks are still open, and before major U.S. economic news drops at 8:30. That exact time is 10 after 8. And when Wall Street starts buying a stock in the pre-market, you will often see that stocks run higher all day long. I mean, anyone who can spot the sunrise signal in real time can potentially ride those waves higher for a shot at quick payout. Can't trade without it, you need it. Like with the NVIDIA example from May the 27th, that was the first day back from Memorial Day weekend that left the markets reeling. You remember this. With more tariff fears on deck, how could anyone be confident markets would open higher the following week? By checking the sunrise signal, of course. Volume started jumping on NVIDIA at 8, just like we'd think it would. And the sunrise signal confirmed the stock was ready to move higher. Then shortly after the markets opened, NVIDIA shot higher just as the sunrise signal predicted, paying out a nice $478 anyone who'd follow along.
Well, Tom, that's incredibly impressive what you're showing us. On just those two sunrise signals, any trader could have picked up an extra $930 in just 2 trades. Someone who'd been twice as confident could have scored $1,860 before the weekend. Tom, that's enough to help folks finally spend the weekend how they want to. Cover the green fees almost anywhere if you wanted to spend the weekend out on the links, or maybe even a joyride for 2 in the car of your dreams, or maybe just save some money for a rainy day. It really doesn't matter how anyone spends the money that you're talking about. What matters is that folks could have finally had that flexibility, and it's all thanks to this impressive sunrise signal. And Tom, as a lot of people here tonight know, you're no stranger to showing folks these kinds of returns. You've built a career on it. Just hear some of those stories from folks who are with us right now who have had success in your other services. There's Laura P. She's been working with you for years. She said, listening to Tom puts money in your pocket, even on these crazy days. Yesterday had 9 trades, all winners, $2,200 profit. 9 trades in a day and all winners. That's Tom's MO. Or there's Denise W. who wrote, so far I've had only winning trades, but more important to me is how much I learn every time. Thanks, Tom. And here's Bruce L., who put it simply. I love this one. When I follow Tom, I make money. He's committed to helping you all the way through the trade. And Tom, you really are. But this sunrise signal, it's something brand new that even Laura, Denise, and Bruce are going to be amazed by, or may already be being amazed by. So tell us, can we make money on just any stock that Wall Street moves higher right at 8 a.m.?
Of course not, Stephen. If that was that easy, everybody would just make a killing off anything that was up off the sunrise signal already. That's not the way it works. It's tracking right now to set us up for tomorrow. Let me remind folks, no system is perfect. We've seen some great success in our research, but losses can and will happen. It's just part of the trading game. Fortunately, you don't have to guess, and that's the key at the top stocks of the day. You just have to know what to look for, when to look for it, how to take it, and more importantly, we're talking about after the opening bell. After the opening bell, when major players own these things at 8 and they follow through, you pay attention at 9:30, the floodgates open across the entire market. Not only are the vast majority of retail traders lining up to finally react to overnight news, There's also a flood of trades that made overnight that are finally processing at 9:30. Think about that timing. That surge creates the biggest volume spike of the day and it dwarfs the volume at 8. Look at that chart. Synthetic intraday QQ volume and volatility pattern right there. That's the trap right there you got to avoid. That's the trap you got to avoid. Write that, memorize it. That's right after the market opens. And it can ruin you if you're not careful. I call it the 30 minutes of no man's land or chaos alley. Because if you step out into it, okay, you're likely to get hurt bad. You can see it in the second chart. The orange line shows how much stock prices bounce around the first 30 minutes of the day. And over 40 years, I only found one way to navigate this no man's land successfully. Stay out of it. Because while Wall Street might be wading through the chaos, quietly adding to positions they started building at 8, there's no way of knowing when the opening bell hurricane is still raging. Fortunately, you don't have to wait long though. Write this time down. This is important. Right after 10, the dust settles down and the clear pack leaders continue to charge higher. Look one more time at the chart. Pay attention. Avoid that. Right at 10, the chaos drops off quickly. It stabilizes and you're ready to rock. The initial flood of trading activity dies down, and we can quickly see which positions from 8 are still trending higher. Hope everybody gets that. That's an important point. The ones that made it through the madness are still going higher after, are the ones that will give us a shot to target $500 or more before lunch. That ought to get your attention. For example, let's take a look at another example in NVIDIA, this one from May the 6th. As we saw pre-market volume spike at 8. And the sunrise signal showed NVIDIA moving higher. But check out what happens at the opening bell. Biggest volume spike of the day, NVIDIA sank during the chaos. Turning you off, right? Traders who jumped in right at the opening bell would already be selling out and running for the hills. But if you waited just a half hour, you see how quickly the volume drops back down to normal levels. And NVIDIA starts moving higher again. And that was a surefire sign that NVIDIA was the top stock for the day and was ready to soar. And that's exactly what happened the rest of the day, as it went higher, higher, and higher. And anyone who'd seen the sunrise signal would have been aware, waiting for the chaos to die down, and watch the stock start to climb right around 10. Could have snagged another $500 on NVIDIA before quitting time, simply by waiting until after the opening bell and trading the stocks that passed the test at 8 and 10 together. We're able to set ourselves up to target $500 or more, then slam the laptop shut if we want to, like with Palantir on May the 30th. Now, you probably know it's been a wild year for Palantir stock, but late May was a bit of a rough patch. At the end of the month approach, Palantir suffered 3 straight daily losses, and the MACD had crossed strongly into bear territory. To the naked eye, it didn't seem like a good day to go all in on this tech stock, as you knew about the sunrise signal.
Love that.
In early morning, the markets were dead quiet until right at 8, when volume started climbing fast. Sunrise signal fired right when you expect it to, time-wise. More than enough to tell us that Wall Street had shaken off the bad news and we're now bullish on Palantir. If you jumped right at the open, it would have been a mistake. Volume spiked just as we think it might right when that opening bell rings. Sending stock sideways in the tailspin in the first 30 minutes. But over the same time frame, volume cooled down. When right at 10, it was clear Palantir was ready to rip higher. And you could have had a high confidence that the stock would jump from there. And sure did, absolutely soaring over the next 60 minutes. That's what you want right there. Anyway, jumped in, we got paid $500 on Palantir in just over an hour.
Wow.
Now, Steve, I know I already said sharp as a tack, but let me run through just one more quick example. So just how powerful the sunrise signal is. So let's look at AMD on May the 23rd. Now, AMD had a really rough start to 2025, sinking all year long, and then getting hammered when the tariff panic started. In fact, that very morning, NASDAQ published an article encouraging traders not to panic yet, despite an awful start to the year. But that didn't quiet the storm in the early hours of the market until you guessed it. You guessed it. You know the time, 8 o'clock. Volume spiked immediately at 8, sent AMD in reverse. A clear sunrise signal projected stock would move higher all day long. And anyone had seen it could ignore the rest of the pre-market movement. Turned out when it continued to chop around in no man's land, tuned that out, watched it 10 for the crystal clear sign that Wall Street was back in charge, ready to move. The stock higher, rode it all day long. Then it's time to collect a quick $508 in the profit.
Wow, Tom, the sunrise signal really is incredible. I can't believe what you're showing us here today. If my quick math is correct, these three trades you just showed us could have added up to another $1,508 in added cash for folks. And Tom, each of those trades could have cashed in before lunchtime. Now, I'm impressed, but of course, as we've said again tonight, I'm not surprised that you're once again showing folks how to seize the chance for some quick cash from the stock market. You've made a career of doing just that. We've got Carlos G from Texas. He wrote in, "Good morning, Tom. 1 week ago, I bought a 25-cent option, and the next day I closed it at $1.25. That's a 5 times return on his original investment. A lot of money very quickly." And then Bobby added, "The program is amazing. I'm up over $2,000 today." Or Emmanuel O from New Mexico, he says, "You're a great teacher. I made around $2,200 from one trade. Keep up the good work." And folks, we've got a channel full of stories like that from Tom in our Slack. Tom, as much as I love those stories, I can't wait to hear from traders who are going to use the sunrise signal from now on. Heck, I'm almost tempted to quit my own day job and focus on these signals every day.
I'm flattered because these sunrise signals really can be a game changer once you learn the technique. But I should be very clear. If you do have a day job, don't quit it. But there's no guarantee with these sunrise signals. You never risk more than you afford to lose. And like any other strategy, there have been smaller wins and those that didn't work out along the way. But more importantly, you don't have to quit your day job to follow these signals. That's the beauty of it. Because as we've seen time and time again, you only need a few minutes at a couple key times each day to follow the sunrise signal.
Well, Tom, that's a great point, and I'm nowhere near quitting my day job because I like doing this with you too much. But I do have to ask, what's stopping folks from following the sunrise signal as soon as the markets open again tomorrow morning?
Nothing's stopping these folks from jumping in, and with what the market's doing tonight, it's setting up. I can tell you that right now. I've watched enough of these nights leading in today. It's setting up. We're going to have some fun in the morning. In fact, that can set the alarm for 8 each day and get to work looking for the best opportunities. But think about it. If you wanted to track the S&P 500, that's 500 stocks you have to monitor every morning. It's really hard to do if you were able to do it. Then again at 10. Let the technology work for you. I mean, you're spending hours in front of your computer, could have been spent sleeping in, doing the crossword, even taking a morning joyride. With that much, you might have missed winners that our research found on stocks like NVIDIA, 491, QQQ, 500, MU, 508, adds up. And I can't blame you. I might not have seen them either if I was on my own, but I have technology working. Fortunately, I have a whole team of experts who help me do this. DTI team has a century of combined experience in the markets. With this powerful software and expert team, we're able to code the sunrise algorithm specifically designed to track those opportunities. That's the setup slide right there. You see it. That's simple.
$500,000 on this software, Tom.
Yep. Each morning, a few clicks of the button. Each morning, Algo scans the market for sunrise signals 8:10. That means you already know the stocks that are setting up that day and going to trade after that opening bell rings. Strongest signals get posted to a private Telegram channel. We have a private Telegram channel to make sure everybody's clear. Because no need to really get up, just need to know what to look at when you do. And there's no need to wake up early because fun begins at 10. That's when the algo picks the best of the best that survived the opening bell chaos and still trending higher. Like what our study showed happened at CoreWeek back on May the 2nd. Traders could have spotted the sunrise signal and just read the update in our Telegram channel. We're very clear what we say. And even though the markets opened hot that day, the 10 a.m. signal showed there was still a lot of gas left in that tank. Our readers would have had to check the alert shortly after 10, symbol, price. It went on the climb more than 5% on that day. Wow. It was right. $483 on that one. Nobody had to dig through 500 stocks. Nobody had to open a ton of charts to figure this out. They just waited for that day's sunrise signal alert and placed the trade. All you could have done again on May the 27th, because that day the sunrise signal fired on Tesla. And by 10 a.m. it's clear the momentum wasn't stopping. Our readers would have been studying the charts. They could have just waited for the alert at 10. There it is. Perfect time because Tesla continued to soar all day long. And anyone who followed the alert could have been $492 richer by the end of the day.
Tom, I know for a fact you've let a very small group of your top students beta test the Sunrise algo already. In fact, a few of your top students have already sent in love letters to your team. Bob told us, love the Sunrise Trade service. It gives me the biggest bang for my bucks of any service out there. And then T, he says, it's like getting a personal meeting with Tom every morning. The sunrise signal and a cup of coffee is all I need to start my day. And Tom, with everything you've shown us today, it's no surprise your traders love it. But Tom, you had closed this Sunrise Signals beta for just your elite members for a long time. So how long are the rest of us going to have to wait here?
I got good news about that. We're caught up. We're ready to go. That's why we opened it up tonight. But I want to say something. I think the sunrise signal has always been important. I did it by hand before, but it's never been more important than it is right now. You probably don't need me to tell you that the markets are now driven by news more than ever. In fact, according to the Financial Times, automated trading systems now dominate market volume with news reading algos reacting to headlines as little as 300 microseconds. And when do those algos fire on? Right at 8 o'clock in the morning. So if you're not paying attention to the sunrise signal right now, you need to. You honestly don't have a prayer of keeping up with the Wall Street, let alone the algos that power them. But simply by following this one signal each morning, keeping it simple, straightforward. You'll be miles ahead of the average Joes out there, ready to target anywhere from 250, 500, even 1,000 before the opening bell even rings. Just like I'm going to show my traders how to do every day. And for that reason, I'm going to do something I didn't expect to happen for months yet. Because you're right, Stephen, Sunrise beta test is closed. And it's supposed to stay that way for a lot longer. But over the last few weeks, everybody keeps talking about it. I had my team drop everything, focus on getting it ready for immediate release. Today, we're happy to say we met our goal and we're able to open the doors months ahead of schedule. So we're thrilled to invite just tonight 100 new people to the service. The sunrise signals. Pay attention. This is the only algorithm monitoring the sunrise signal designed to help traders target $250, $500, or $1,000 even before lunch. And each and every trade alert is generated in real time, sent directly to our readers wherever they are, whatever they're doing. Because the moment you join us today, you'll be invited to jump inside our private members only Telegram channel, exclusively for Sunrise. You don't have to search for alerts, they're right there. You'll never have to dig through spam email to find what the idea was, and each day you'll get the full Sunrise Signal experience right inside the Telegram channel. It all starts at 8 with the Sunrise Signal. Each morning, our algorithm will send you a list of stocks firing off from the Sunrise Signal that morning. You want to lift the finger to scan the list, figure out where you're going to target, wait to 10, and you got the hottest opportunities of the day with the entries, the targets, and where we're wrong, which would come handy back on June the 11th. That morning, algo told us to go long on Palantir. Everybody see it right there. Anyone who had followed the process, placed the trade right after 10, would have scored a $484 winner. Now, you wouldn't have to guess at 10 about whether Palantir was still a good trade. You knew it was identified each morning shortly after 10. You double check it, Superpower algo fires, and only the cream of the crop that meet our ideal entry criteria make the cut. That's a lot of stocks that goes through. When they do, we send out a live entry alert directly to you on the go, giving you the entry price. That's simple. The profit you're going to take, and where we're wrong. Even information for selecting options you should be using. Right in the palm of your hand, no matter where you're at. Just like would have happened the very next day. The alert would come to your phone with explicit instructions on what to do. You have the ticker, the entry price, the options instructions, your target, your stop loss, and even your rules of how long to hold the trade. It's all in there, set up for you, which would make following instructions of MU a piece of cake. So you could have tapped a few buttons when the alert came to your phone at 10 and spent your time ever how you wanted, because now you got the signal, you got it placed, got everything done you need to do. That's how you spend the time. Maybe invite some friends over for a casual breakfast, take the dogs out for a quick stroll, play a few rounds of tennis, only come back a few hours later when things worked out and find that nice big winner on MU. In that case, $476 just in a few hours. Simple, straightforward.
Tom, that's impressive. I mean, really, really incredible what you're showing us. I hope folks are paying close attention. I mean, if someone, yeah, absolutely. And if someone had paced just $5,000 into each of those two trades, which happened back-to-back days that you just ran through for us, they'd be sitting on $2,401 with just a few minutes work. And that's really, I mean, that's significant game-changing money. But Tom, I have to ask, some of these are quick-moving trades, right? And not everybody here has time to sit in front of the computer. So wouldn't you need to be glued to your phone or, standing in front of your computer to close them out as winners?
Stephen, absolutely not. You got all the information right at the get-go, because that's a little trick you can do we call the profit lock. Automatically having your order set in there once you get the signal and let it fly. Because there's that trick that we teach people called the profit lock. And it's a busy trader's absolute best friend. Because with just a few quick steps, anytime you place a trade, you can have peace of mind knowing that the stock hits your target, your gains are locked in. And as a member, you'll unlock a free PDF telling you exactly how to use the profit lock on every trade.
Tom, I've actually used the profit lock myself a few times, and as a busy guy, it saved me, honestly. I've won trades in long business meetings or in the car in a rainstorm, even watching a soccer game with a friend one time. Folks are going to absolutely love that. I can't believe you're throwing it in for free. But let me ask you another question. Do I have to be some kind of options expert to get the most out of Sunrise Signals?
That's a great question, but the answer is no. You're trading with me, and I'm going to teach you what you need to know. Sunrise Signals is a fantastic program, whether you're a beginner or experienced alike. Of course, you can always trade the underlying stock if you prefer. But if you're ready to start your options trading journey, we got you covered there too. Listen up, because the team at DTI has built what I believe is the ultimate options education course, appropriately named Options Made Simple,
Love this.
combining over 100 years of experience and expertise with every option strategy under the sun. Our team created this condensed video course to take you from a rookie level to a veteran in no time, and it's already waiting inside your members area as soon as you join. Because Steve, I'm not stopping there either. I'll be hosting a brand new live masterclass on the Sunrise Signal, and each and every student who joins Sunrise will know what to do, how to do it, no questions asked, and you're invited to join absolutely free. We'll cover the origins of the Sunrise Signal, why it works, how you can find it on your own if you want to, and how to place the trades, how to follow everything going on in Telegram, and so much more. Think of it like your live blueprint of getting the most out of your new membership. That's our goal.
Well, Tom, I know you've charged $497 for classes like that in the past, and they're always worth every penny. You can hear stories from top students who have taken those classes in the past. Barbara P. wrote in, your training this morning was extremely helpful. Thank you for all your time in teaching and training. It's very much appreciated. Paulie shouted you out. Thank you, T-Buzz. This is great training that allows me to stay focused on the market targets. And Oscar said the train and trade sessions that you've been having have been priceless, with the education presented being worth the time in gold. Thanks for all the hard work you put into providing that education for us, Tom. And I don't have a crystal ball, wish I did, but I'm pretty confident and willing to bet that the Sunrise Masterclass will be more than worth the cost of admission alone. Speaking of which, Tom, I do have to ask now, what is this going to cost, folks? I mean, you did show us two trades just a few minutes ago that could have made $2,400 on back-to-back days. So, but members are going to get access to all the Sunrise signals that the algorithm spots right inside the private Telegram channel. And that could add up to hundreds of alerts over a single year. So what will it cost? $5,000, $3,997? It's got to be up there.
Hey, I agree that access to the Sunrise Signal is worth a whole lot, but breathe a little easy. Whether you got a big or small account, I will teach you how to do this. But before I reveal today's price, though, there's one more big surprise I want to show folks. A few years back, Roger Scott and I joined forces to teach folks a daybreak class. At the time, we were focused on trading into pre-market, and we offered a 4-week class at a rock bottom price of $295.
I remember this.
But let me be clear, you won't need to trade in the pre-market to make the most out of the Sunrise Signal. But the techniques we taught at the daybreak class could still give you a huge advantage in understanding the Sunrise Signal. And today I want to offer the recording of this $295 class for free as soon as you join the brand new service. They'll be yours to keep forever as a thank you for joining the Sunrise Signal.
Well, Tom, I wasn't expecting that. As I said, I do remember the Sunrise or the Daybreak Masterclass, and it was incredibly helpful to me as a relative newcomer to really understand what makes stocks move before and even after the opening bell. Because as you've said, and you literally wrote the book on it, there's no dividing line there. The markets never sleep. It's all part of the same puzzle. I can't believe you're now including that for free for every member of Sunrise Signal. So one more time, Tom, what is it going to cost? I can't even begin to think of a fair price to unlock all of this that you're showing us here.
Well, Stephen, you mentioned earlier these two most recent trades from our study made over $2,400 in a few days with a couple clicks of the button. So initially I thought that's a fair price for 1 year of Sunrise Signal.
More than fair.
But we're talking about the potential of alerts 100+ days of year. Every day the market's open, it works for you. If I know times might be tight right now, and I wouldn't want price to be a barrier for entry to anybody here. So I've cooked up two special bonuses I think everyone here is going to love. First, we'll cut the price nearly in half with a $1,000 founder's discount.
Wow.
Immediately dropping the price in the first year to $1,401. But I'm not stopping there. I'm proud of our track record we built, and it's growing. Look at this. Look at the money.
77.8% of the time with winners.
I'm right nearly about 4 out of 5 times, and the computer now is matching. And with tight stop losses, our losses have averaged about 30% when they occur. And each winner has been capable of delivering $250 for every $1,000 invested. Think about that. With all that said, my favorite feature is how affordable these sunrise signals are. For just a cost of about $300 to enter the option.
Wow.
And that brings me to my last bonus. We'll go ahead and sponsor our very first trade with the sunrise signal. Hopefully the first of many successful trades with our signal for you. Meaning I'll immediately knock off another $302 off the price of your new membership, bringing the total down to $1,099 for your first year.
Tom, I can't believe that.
So here we are. We're going to drop the link in about 20 seconds. It's time to choose. Keep running headlong into the teeth of algorithms out there dominating Wall Street or having work for you through the sunrise signal. Time to make that decision. Get on board. Go to dtitrader.com/sunrise. Click it. 904-706-3532. Got any questions? You talk to one of our experts are here. Go to dtitrader.com/sunrise or call 904-706-3532.
Wow, Tom, I'm excited.
Now, folks, if that price got you excited, this is about to knock your socks off. Because I'm offering one more insane discount limited to this webinar only because we're live. If you join immediately, we'll upgrade your membership to a 2-year membership at no additional charge. You got 2 years of this now. That's right, an extra year on the house. I want you to take full advantage with the 2 years of sunrise signals. But I have to stress, it's a limited time offer. When those 100 are gone, once they've taken, don't be sitting there on the sidelines. So click the order form. It's too late. You missed out. I'm sorry.
Tom, I can't believe you're still offering that. I thought that was a special bonus for just the very first folks to join. So folks,
because we filled up, we said, let's do it.
Absolutely. So folks should absolutely click the link that Adam just dropped in the chat or go to dtitrader.com/sunrise. It's very easy, or you can call the team if you have any questions. We've got the best in the business standing by to answer your call. A lot of folks on that team, Tom, have worked with you for many years. They know what makes you tick. They know what you're about. So hopefully folks are calling in right now or just going to the order form. And I can't wait to hear stories from the first folks who are joining Sunrise Signals as we speak. And maybe there's stories like these from our other top students and other flagship services from you, Tom. Wayne wrote in, there's no one in the business that does a better job on teaching the ins and outs of the market. He cares about your success. And Tom, you really do. And I think that's what makes you so special. There's no one that does it better than Tom. And there's Kevin who wrote in, he's been a client of T-Buzz since November. This week he was up $6,000 in a single week. Tom and his team will teach you how to not make mistakes and lose money. And SP put it very simply, and I love this one. Tom is one of the best timing traders I know, and glad to be learning from him. And Tom, those are techniques you can only learn with your 40 years of experience, but you and your team have figured out how to program this all into an algorithm so it does the work for you. It's almost like Tom GPT, you know, T-Buzz GPT. It does all the work for you right there without...
I like that.
You know, we can coming up with new names right here on the spot. Now, hopefully several of our listeners here today will be the next to share a story like that, but it all starts with a decision. As Tom likes to say, chicken, fish, or steak. It's time to choose. So go to dtitrader.com/sunrise or call 904-706-3532. You can claim your founders member discount here today.
Remember, folks, the Sunrise Signals, the only way I know of to watch all these stocks, to find out the best stocks, show us the opportunities tomorrow morning and at 10 o'clock. Remember, our example on Palantir on May the 30th, At the end of the month approached, Palantir suffered 3 straight losses, and MACD crossed strongly into bear territory. To the naked eye, it didn't seem like a good day to go all in on this tech stock, unless you knew about the sunrise signal. In the early morning, the markets were dead quiet up until 8 when volume started climbing fast. Sunrise fired right when we'd expect it to. More than enough to tell us that Wall Street shaking off the bad news and bullish for Palantir for the day. Anyone jumped in right at the open, that would have been a mistake. Buying a spike just as we think it might. Stocks in a tailspin in the first 30 minutes. Volume cooled down, you know the story. 10 rolled around, Palantir was ready to rip higher. And you had high confidence to know it was a stock, it was identified and absolutely soaring over the next 60 minutes. Anyone who jumped in at the right time would pull in $500. Pretty cool.
Absolutely amazing, Tom. I love that example because you see every step of the process play out exactly like you explained it. The website, dtitrader.com/sunrise, is in the chat. So is the phone number. Now, Tom, I know you got classes tomorrow. You're ready to wrap up. Let's run through these last questions here because I know there's some questions I expect we're here. How much do folks need to get started today?
The average trade costs about $300. I would say about $2,000 in capital in answering your question. Plenty to start with to learn this technique, let the computer work for you, see it work, build your confidence and grow it.
All right. Do I need to be an options expert here?
I already covered it. Absolutely not. You need to trade the underlying stock if you want to, or just access to training in the members area where you can learn about trading options in no time.
How many trades are there going to be in a year?
Well, that's hard to say exactly. They have to set up, but with the sunrise signal potentially firing every day, I expect to be no less than 100 opportunities each and every year.
Wow. I mean, that's an incredible value, Tom. That alone is really, really impressive. Are we risking big 100% losers if we get it wrong here?
No, nothing's guaranteed in the market. DTI always believe in cutting losses when we're wrong. This is no exception. Average loser from the study is around 30% because we have tight stop rules for every trade we place.
Does the sunrise signal work on any stock?
Hey, it does. The reason you've seen a short list of stocks today is because we focused on strong trending stocks to begin with. That way, we're never fighting against the overall market. Just another way we help build a 77% win rate on sunrise signal.
Love that. Is there any kind of guarantee with this service?
Yeah, of course. You can try it for the next 14 days. Join it. You won't ever quit, but join it. 10 trainings in the masterclass. And if you're not fully satisfied, we refund every penny. Can't beat that. Get on board right now.
Absolutely. What if folks need extra help?
Of course, we got incredible customer service. We work hard to make sure you understand what you're doing, and we help you along the way. It's open from Friday, 10 o'clock, Monday through Friday from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock each and every day. Free access.
I love that. And you can call the team anytime. They're always available for you, but that
Sure.
customer service live session is invaluable. And Tom, last question for you, and we'll let you hit the road here. When will our first trade drop?
Well, tomorrow morning it sets up, and tonight I believe it's going to happen. And you remember I said I had a special notice. What I'm going to do in the Sunrise channel, I'll post it in about 30 minutes. I've got an early bonus for people in there. And so all you have to do is get signed up. I'll give you about an hour to get in there into the Telegram channel and I'll post it.
I love
Might
it.
as well start out with that.
Thank you so much for walking us through this tonight. Anything else you want to say to folks here?
Not unless they've got questions. I think we covered it. Go to dtitrader.com/sunrise or call 904-706-3532. Go check the Telegram channel within 30 minutes of us quit talking.
Love that. Absolutely amazing. Gregory said, what's the win rate? According to the study, it was about 77.9%, which is really incredible. Tom, I forgot you said you had an announcement. Did you want to share that with folks?
Yeah, the announcement is I'm going to put a bonus trade into the Sunrise channel in about 30 minutes using the criteria to give everybody an early start.
All right, love that. Brandon asked, do you have folks or advice for folks with the day trade rules here?
Yeah, and I will teach you how to avoid it.
Amazing.
I didn't like the rule either, Brandon, so I figured out a good legal way to avoid it. So all you have to do is be there tomorrow.
I love that, Tom. That's great. Thank you for that. You don't need any resources, Sharonda, other than just the telephone and the Telegram channel. And Edward,
Yeah,
there is
and I think people's got to know once they sign up, get in that Telegram channel. That's where all the proprietary information is going to be posted. That's number one. And number two, I do not know if we have a VIP opportunity with this. Alan may have to answer that. A lot of people are thinking about VIP. I don't know.
amazing. I love that, Tom. There is a VIP price. You can always call the team to ask about that, but I believe it's less than it would be just to renew your membership. So, Tom, it's an incredibly low price for folks.
There you have it.
I can't
Answer
believe
to
you're
your
doing
question.
that.
Thanks.
And I'm sure you won't be doing it long. So, Tom, it's 9:20 now. I know you got a class in the morning. You want to take off or say anything to the folks before we sign off here?
No, just be there tomorrow because we're ready to go. And the reason I wanted and talk to them about getting this in front of you, you got to have this signal if you want to be on top of the market each and every day. It gives it to you at that time. Remember the time. Remember this. If you get everything else we say, 10 minutes after 10 tomorrow, all the information's posted. It's right there. You got direction, you got stocks that qualify, and you got direction. So you can't do any more than that. Getting in early rather than getting in late is always going to put you in a better frame of mind when you see the market. Okay. Like
Amazing,
Friday,
Tom.
for example, when it sold off.
Thank you so much, Tom, for your time. Really appreciate this. Love what you're sharing. I know you got a busy day tomorrow, so go get some rest. We'll see you in the morning.
Thanks, Stephen, for doing this. See everybody.
Thank you, Tom. And
Bye.
Eric, when you sign up for any program with DTI, you get access to a ton of their training. You get the options material as well in the members area. There will be occasional trainings that are paid and an additional price, but you're getting Tom, Adam may be able to walk you through that even better than I am. But those free trainings from the first slide we talked about tonight, you're getting access to all those as well. So become a member. DTI is an incredible organization, and you're going to be taken very great care of.
Here's a question for everybody I want to leave them with. Wouldn't it be great if you got signed up tonight and you had 14 days, that's 14 trade days starting tomorrow to make sure this is exactly what we said it was, using it and helping you grow your account in this key time in August. Okay? There you go.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom. Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Appreciate all your time. And we will see you on the flip side, as Tom says. Adam, I will leave it to you to take over the chat if you need anything in there. But thanks, everybody, for joining us. Go to dtitrader.com/sunrise or call the team 904-706-3532. Got to become a member of this. Do not miss out. It's really incredible. So I hope you take advantage, and I hope you all have a lovely, lovely time. Ed, there is Edward, there is a lifetime membership. It's an incredible price. I think it's less than the price of just a second year renewing your second term would be. So Adam may know the exact numbers.
The VIP is just it's like an extra $900.
Amazing.
But
I mean, that's
it ends up being $19.97 for VIP.
wow.
Once you sign up for the year, it'll offer you the VIP.
Amazing. I wouldn't miss out on that, Edward. If you're interested, you can sign up and it'll be right there after you enter your information, or you can always call the team and they'll put you through there. I hope you do become a member and join Tom tomorrow morning. So, Adam, I'll leave it with you. Thanks, bud.
Thank you, Stephen. Yeah. Yep. All of the things are transferable, Edward. So once you do the lifetime, you are good to go with that. Let's see. Hey, Eric. Well, never mind, Eric. It looks like he left.